listening to The Bradshaw Boys, a podcast where three relatively grown men binge the iconic HBO series Sex and the City. So dust off those DVDs and grab yourself a white wine or even a Cosmopolitan and settle in. Take it away, boys.
Welcome to the Bradshaw Boys, a podcast where three guys rewatch their way through Sex and the City with you. And just like that, I'm Cory Cavin.
I'm Kevin James Doyle.
My name is Jon Sieber.
Wow.
My name is Jon Sieber.
That's
Halloween candy.
That's not Kevin and me doing a John impersonation.
No, it's not.
John in the
back
flesh.
in the flesh, back here,
back
with you two chuckleheads,
Boom,
ready
boom,
to talk
boom,
about
boom, boom, boom.
our ladies.
Guess who's back?
Woo, I missed them.
Back
How
again.
so many things have been conspiring against our podcast. I don't want to make the past few years about us, but nature, whether it's killing the population or growing the population.
Yeah, man.
Either way, it is just trying to get in the Bradshaw Boys
Nature's
way.
fucked with our shit for far too long.
And
if you ask
that's
me.
true.
We said whether it is the birth of new life
Ooh.
or the death of millions of
Okay.
well, technology too. Technology that saved okay.
Okay, listen though. I think if you take Kevin's point here, he is comparing the powers of your newborn son against some of the greatest forces in the world.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Pestilence,
Yeah.
the impending march of doomsday technology.
Mhm.
Like maybe Mickey is the savior of the world. Maybe
Dude,
that's what we're getting
If
at.
you could see the trajectories of his shits at like 3 a.m, you would understand that he is pestilence embodied.
Like actually flying across the
Dude,
room.
I have a video of it, just like a thumb over a hose, just spraying the wall.
Oh
It's
my
just-
gosh.
So
You're like-
you parents know what I'm talking about, but to that, we've showed other parents videos of his, like what he can do, the painting that he can do on the walls across the room,
Mhm.
and other parents are like, that's not normal. He's an odd child. So we love him.
They
He's
just looked at
awesome.
him, they just said, that's a Sieber.
Yeah,
That's a Sieber.
that's a Sieber. But no,
Dang.
we welcomed our beautiful baby boy, 8 pounds 6 ounces, on July 15th. He's very healthy. Mama's very healthy. 90 percentile head, 90 percentile weight,
Wow.
height off the charts. They're like, we don't have shit for that. And
Wow.
Mickey Mitchell Sieber, named after my grandfather, Moogerditch.
Mm.
Mickey was his nickname. So we're very, very excited that he's here.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
In person. Like we've talked about it. You and Kevin did a pod when I was not here.
Mhm.
Kevin and I have done pods when you were not
It's
here.
worth noting that Kevin fucked up that pod too.
Oh, it's
so we're
worth-
supposed to be.
We should
It's supposed to be a main episode, but we had to push it to the
So-
Patreon.
I didn't fuck up the pod.
wait.
I was
you did?
innovating with the form.
You were
and
you were innovating with the form so much that you talked about the mess up and then said you were innovating all live on air.
Well, listen, it was Quentin Tarantino / meta. I was commenting on it because listen, podcasting doesn't just have to be people
Kevin,
talking.
Kevin,
We can-
you're the real Duchamp of podcasting. That's very true.
I'm saying just get all your bullshit out now, because after the break, we're doing 45 minutes about how much you look like Garth.
well,
It was funny listening to that though, because like you guys were here and it's on Patreon. If y'all haven't heard it, go subscribe.
Mhm.
But
no, seriously,
go subscribe.
stop right
Stop.
now.
Stop.
Don't
Stop
you
where
want
you
my
go.
child to be in diapers, to be able to
But-
afford food?
That's true.
Yeah,
To be able to afford that surgery that tones down his shitting trajectory.
Yeah.
I say that as someone who had
It's just a
childhood stomach
Monopoly
problems
thimble that
myself.
we stick up his ass.
Oh, that's great.
all right.
No, yeah. I mean, we watched an episode out of order. I mean, I was the one editing the episode. So the best part was listening to right before I edited it, I texted, was like, hey, I'm about to sit down and edit the episode. And then I get a text from John that said, did Kevin tell you about the mess up? And I said, no. And I got a FaceTime call from John where he details me everything that happened. Meanwhile, no communication from Kevin. Then I listened to the episode as I am the one editing it. Wait, what?
I saw the FaceTime come up,
And you ignored it.
and I was like, no, I'm too much shame.
You're definitely laying in bed,
And then,
covered in your semen. Just like,
Exactly.
I don't want to get up. I don't want to get up.
And then I edit it, and then I sent y'all the clip. There's a clip of you both talking about how you mess up, and then you laugh, and you're like, I do this kind of thing in my own life sometimes. Just probably to its detriment. But you know who hates this stuff? Cory.
I know.
And I was just sitting there
Seething.
on a Saturday afternoon on my day off,
After getting screened by Kevin because he was too shamed to even answer the call.
But the best part was multiple times throughout the rest of the episode, you both were like, "We got to text Cory and talk about this mess up since he's going to edit it." Never got any conversation. Never got any communication.
What I did say in the beginning of that episode is we have to have Katie on and tell everyone the beginning of her birth story, because it's Sex and the City related and it's absolutely incredible.
It's also great because
I'm not going to spoil it.
I know you mentioned it on that one, and it's also great because this one is a main feed one, so it's your first one back that we're together. It's all out in the world, and then we'll do a main feed one back with Katie, and we'll have all of us back.
I can't wait.
It'll be great. It'll be awesome.
I can't wait for people to hear it. But thank you for the support. A lot of people reached out and said hey, and people have been commenting on my stories, being like, "That's a cute baby." So that always feels really good. So,
John, how do you think Cory and I did? With the substitute teacher gone.
Dude, I didn't listen to any of it. Are you kidding me?
Not even that. Just you don't have to have listened to it. Just
I think you guys.
If you're a parent at home, you don't need to come back and watch all of the security footage.
That's true.
I know. Here's my thought.
Yeah.
I imagine that you're the substitute teacher that just wheels in the cart from the IT department and plays a movie. I think Cory
What's a podcast about a TV show? But at least I showed the wrong episodes of Sex in the City.
Hey guys, it's me, Mr. Doyle. Play butterfly in the sky. And I can fly twice as high.
Hey, little man, how old's your sister?
And I think
that's Kevin talking to one of the kids.
Yeah, of course. It's funny because it's true.
It's funny. It's funny because I am a substitute teacher who
and I think
underage.
I think Cory would be the substitute teacher that was way overqualified in the subject matter, and then get frustrated with the kids for not catching on. Yeah. It's like, we're just doing 1 + 1, Mr. Kavin. And he's like, "You fucking idiots! Don't you know?"
You just find me in the janitor's closet eating Tums at the end of the day. Just like, "Oh my god, I can't take this anymore."
So I think combined, you guys probably did a pretty damn good job.
I think we actually did. Like, I think that's a good assessment. Like, I definitely worked hard, but like, we definitely had a lot of fun. Like, it was a good mix. Like, I think it was really good.
Yeah,
160 averages out to 80, which is a C.
Passing grade.
And
that's what we shoot for here in the Bradshaw Boys. C.
Hey, C for Carrie Bradshaw.
That's right.
We did it.
We did get a few responses from our last Patreon about our Instagram drama, and people said we went easy on her, and they found it to be good, fun, interesting drama.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
So that's on the Patreon. You don't get that here on the main feed.
We also put up the something that's funny that happened on Instagram was we put up the film that we did 2 years ago at Halloween.
Yeah.
Where we all dressed up as characters. I was Aiden, you were Steve, and Cory was Mr. Big, and we reenacted the basketball scene. And someone on the comments, I was reading them, was like, that actually was really good camera work.
Yeah.
And do you remember who filmed it?
Oh, yeah.
I do.
Yeah. It's our buddy who's literally directs TV shows. So
yeah.
He works in movies.
Yeah. He works in movies and film and TV.
Major movies.
And
is he working on this?
No, he's not working on this show. He's full-time for another show.
Okay.
But I was randomly walking through the park one day and they had like all the signs up and they're like, "Sir, you can't walk through here. We're filming." And I'm like, "What are you filming?" And they told me, and it was his show, and I walked up, and he was directing that day. So I just randomly stumbled upon him directing. So,
speaking of that, we should, when we still don't know when the show comes out, but we should see if he has any like on the ground information.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Also, some on the ground information that I was forwarded today from. We all know that we have a gossip source who.
Is that Kim Cattrall's not going to be in the new upcoming series?
Well,
you heard it here first.
That's sort of what it is.
Oh, really?
Do you know what this is?
No.
Oh, okay. So I'll just read the headline that we were forwarded from a legitimate news source who's our voice on the ground.
Newsmax.
Newsmax. Yeah.
From OAN,
from
the One American Network.
One American Network got in touch with us. It says Samantha Jones is not dead. Sex and the City insiders divulge details of how Kim Cattrall is written out of the reboot and say the door is wide open for season 2. Now here's the thing. Here's the thing. That's kind of a what they call a nothing burger. However, they say that the storyline is that the reason that Samantha's not here is that her and Carrie had a falling out, which means
that's crazy.
Yeah, which means that it's like sort of based on, the real life rumors of what people thought it was. And it also means that the whole thing, like maybe she died, maybe they lost touch. Like it means that they're opening the door. Like maybe she could show up in a season 2 if in real life things come together.
They can work it out.
Yeah.
Two theories I have.
That's from the dailymail.com, by the way.
So like, I wonder if like her
British Newsmax.
I wonder if like
British Newsmax, essentially. Yeah.
I wonder if like Samantha Jones as a character will be mentioned then,
They're going to get it out of the way and then, you know what I mean? Like this is like an inconvenience to be dealt with.
What if she's mentioned in that whenever Carrie tries to do a chat and chew, there's just always a FaceTime coming through and she just sends it a voicemail. She throws her phone on the table and then they start the chat and chew. Well, who was that? Don't worry about it.
Two things. One, what are the chances that she's in just one little scene and it blows television out of the water?
I mean, that's what I have been hoping for, especially when she posted that video of her running around the reservoir. Kim Cattrall did not too long ago. She posted a video of her running around the reservoir set to I'm Back in the New York Groove. And weirdly, it was just the same video on loop twice. So it's like, how you can like loop a video to where like the Instagram just keeps playing. Hers is just a single video looped twice.
I love how bad celebrities are on Instagram. It's like one of the best. It's one of the best things ever.
Go to Chris Rock's Instagram and it's just like, oh, I forgot you're a dad.
It's like a meme account.
Yeah. It's like,
and this is coming from someone who is awful at Instagram, but I'm better than 90% of the celebrities out there.
My mom does have a few, she has a few Facebook pages that just send her memes, and she'll send some to the family thread, and sometimes they're so lame, and sometimes I'm like, man, that's hilarious. It's just really solid, kind of Far-Sidey type.
Yep.
Yeah. Wait, the other thing is, because I've seen him filming twice now. One time I walked on the set when they were on Perry Street.
And they were like,
you can't walk on here. I was like, I'm meeting a friend on the street. Yeah, I can. And they're like, okay. And then I just,
that's all you have to do, especially in New York, is if they're ever like, sir, you have to stop walking here. You're like, no, I don't.
No, I don't.
Unless it's a safety concern as a police officer. You can walk. You can also just pretend that you know someone on the crew and walk up to craft service and start eating food and then just go, do you guys know where Mitch is?
Dude.
You do it.
I don't
this is actually.
Have you ever actually done that?
Yes.
I've
done it multiple times because I used to work this one job that we were in a very slow period.
I don't have the cojones to do that.
Well, part of it is that, that after I worked on sets as a PA for so long, you just get that swagger, man.
These are working people.
These are working people.
So but do you think that they are filming? Do you think there are any decoy scenes?
Ooh, that is a great question.
Because I'm like,
is that common?
Wait, is Common in the show?
Is Common
the rap? Is that Common? No, if it's a decoy scene, he's not in the show.
Is that? Do they do that in film and television? I don't know.
I don't. There's just usually not that many shows that most shows that have this level of scrutiny are not filmed so out in the open.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I'm trying to think of another thing that's.
I guess they did shit like that with Game of Thrones, where they would fly someone to a certain location and then make them be seen.
Yeah, and
then they still did
Game
the
of Thrones,
shittiest.
They didn't have to go to, I don't know, fucking whatever, Dante, the restaurant, and be like, that's where they were filming the other day. Someone texted us the thing because I'll show you the picture.
Yeah, what was that video that you put up a video the other day?
Yeah, somebody sent us. She said as a joke she wanted to remain anonymous, but she said, haha, JK, but I'm not gonna. But one of our followers sent it. She was just visiting New York and walked past. And,
that's gotta be so fun if you're
that's
visiting.
Amazing.
And then 3 people below that were like, "How do you find out their production schedule? I'm visiting New York. I'd love to visit the set." I was like, "That's not how it works."
Again, walk into craft service, ask for Mitch.
I just think that'd be a great idea. You just film a few things that are just
Yeah.
You know, it takes an hour of your time and it gets you, you know.
Well, even the thing of like Carrie, that one image that's like floating around of her wearing like green dish gloves.
Oh, yeah.
And like a weird like babushka outfit.
Yeah.
And she's just on the phone. It's like if they were like,
And
hey,
smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they were like, hey, today during lunch, let's just have
this
you
on.
out doing this and then we'll never put it in. That would be the
They should have
that'd be
taken the troll to the next level. They've been like, here's a MAGA hat. Go outside, walk around.
I mean, that's with the MAGA hat. They did that. I think they saw Larry David with that like before it came out or something.
Oh, because there was
which
that
is
season
pretty-
where he like wore it to get distance from people.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, let's watch this episode and then we can do
Yeah.
what we came here to do, John.
Let's talk about you and Garth.
Talk about me and Garth and my big ass dick.
All right.
And before we get to it, this is a great time to announce merch. I'm going to make a dildo, and you could. No,
We do have t-shirts. People have been buying them.
oh yeah,
You can go to our website. There are t-shirts there. And we're going to make more merch.
oh yeah.
Heck yeah, we are.
All right. Katie, take it away.
Take it away.
Episode 43 Escape from New York. Carrie meets with actor-producer Matthew McConaughey in LA to talk about optioning her columns to make a movie. Miranda wrestles with the level of open sexuality in Los Angeles. Charlotte uses the internet to deal with Trey's impotence problem. Samantha meets a dildo model. And now, back to the boys.
Hi, everyone. I'm Haley Hasselhoff, and this is your invitation to join me each week for my podcast, Redefine You, a conversation for well-being. We are all on a journey, and it can be tough, but I want you to know it's okay to not be okay. There's so much strength and vulnerability, and I'm here to show you just that. Each week, experts and my friends in the entertainment world will open up like never before, speaking to us about their journey to ownership to self and their personal relationship with their mental well-being. Redefine You, a conversation for well-being, is available on your favorite podcast app. Remember to subscribe and download so you don't miss an episode.
Hey, what up, y'all? It's your girl, Vivica Fox. I got a brand new season of Hustling with Vivica A. Fox out now. That's right. Join me and this season's guest as we talk about our professional and life experiences to give you tips and tricks to make sure your hustle game is always at 100. If you've missed any episodes, you can catch up right now. Just go to Hustling with Vivica A. Fox on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen. Please welcome the amazing and talented Tiffany Haddish. Hey, she ready. My girl, Tammy Roman.
Hey, Vivica.
Jackie Herring. Yeah. Hey, girl. Hey, Viv. My baby sister, Lisa Ray McCoy.
That be me, girl.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and download so you can be ready for all new episodes dropping every other week. Your hustle game will thank you. Bye for now, darlings.
And we're back.
Escape from New York.
Dude,
Escape from New York.
just so everyone knows, this is not what we did during the pandemic. Okay, we are not the New Yorkers that escaped from New York. We were here.
That's true.
Grinding it out.
I left for a little bit.
Well, yeah, not every. It's been a year and a half now. You're allowed to have left, but we were all here during it.
Yeah, I was here for pretty much the whole thing. I didn't leave for like, let's see, 7 months.
Yeah.
Just grinded for 7 months.
Yeah, people like March 21st were just like, oh, I heart New York, and we're like, I bought a place upstate. No,
Yeah.
we're here listening to the freaking
But like
ambulance.
looking back, they're actually pretty damn smart.
There is. It is. It would.
No,
it-
I kept my apartment, and the rental market crashed, and now it's back higher than ever, more expensive than in San Francisco.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
It is. It
So-
is very rough to find an apartment in New York right now.
Yeah.
From people that I have heard trying to find apartments, it is not easy.
I did not know that.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It's the New York rents are definitely back.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's-
if they gave up something good, joke's on them.
I'm worried about a bunch of people who like got really good deals during the crash that like next year their rent's going to like quadruple.
100%.
Well, it will. I mean, like I know someone who they got a really good deal, and what the stipulation was is the landlord was like, you get 4 months free, but your base rent is what it always would have been. Just average the 4 months free to make it to where your rent.
Yeah,
is
and so now they're
$1,000
just
left.
going to be paying a boatload
Yeah.
of rent for all
They
next
knew
year.
it. They're like it's like two friends who like it's their like first apartment, and they were just like, okay, we're gonna go live somewhere awesome, and then we know middle of 2022
Then we're going to have to
we're gonna
jet.
have to, yeah, totally. So I think a lot of people did that.
Yeah, I think when you leave New York, though, it's like looking at real estate is one of the most painful things that you can do. When you're like upstate or like in like your parents' hometown, and you like pull open the county newspaper and you see what like houses cost, you're like, ooh,
You're like,
Yeah.
oh damn, that sucks.
Yeah.
well,
That's tough.
Although now that we're the pandemic real estate pod for the next little bit, like,
Yeah, welcome.
although the other thing is, I do think kind of what happened was during that, some of the hometown newspaper stuff probably showed in some cities that it got more expensive.
Yeah.
Like Austin and
Oh,
places
yeah.
like I feel like the pandemic was even more of the rise of the mid-sized
Yeah.
city, as
Yeah.
they say.
yeah. And one of the most difficult things about living in New York is that we're almost never in the same vicinity as Matthew McConaughey.
That's true.
Famed writer. I read his. I
read his autobiography.
I haven't finished it, but because I was on a roll with it because it's quite an easy read. But man, it is funny.
I hope I'm not like being the name drop guy too much, but did you guys see the video that Matthew McConaughey sent to one of our friends?
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh, it's not a cameo.
Yeah.
We had like a friend of a
He's
friend
just like,
that was releasing a record, and somehow they got McConaughey to record him a video, and it's like exactly what you'd think Matthew McConaughey would send.
Oh yeah.
It's fantastic.
It is insane.
Reading his book, I was like, I forgot he did the.
Did you drive a Cadillac too?
I don't know what he drives. I think
Doesn't
he
he-
drives
Lincoln.
a Jeep.
Lincoln.
Oh, Lincoln.
Lincoln.
Yeah,
Why
Lincoln.
did I say
Sure.
Lincoln? Yeah,
commercials,
Lincoln.
yeah.
But it's funny how he's just been able to make a career being really serious at times. And then also him playing Matthew McConaughey is like, that's pretty much how he is.
Okay, so this was my funny thought that I prefaced before we would start recording, being like, I'm not sure if it's a funny thought, but he plays himself in the show.
Yeah.
But he's not like he's like a creep guy that like just wants to like Me Too and have sex with Carrie in the spot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like,
Oh, yeah.
no one else does that in the show. Like everyone else who does that is like, it's like Vince Vaughn playing, Justin Sinclair. Like, but he's literally Matthew McConaughey.
I mean, the only other person that plays themselves, I think, is Lucy Liu when she does.
And I
Lucy
guess
Liu in the
she's like a bitch, but like his
but
character,
she's more justified than he is, for sure.
His character's like a total creep, and it's not like it's not like studio exec Brent Stevens. It's like
McConaughey.
I got a meeting with Matthew McConaughey, and he's a douchebag.
But I
Yeah.
think
It's so
that
funny.
it's kind of the genius of actors like McConaughey and Nicolas Cage and people like that, where it kind of starts out where people are like, this person is a parody of themselves. And then years later, you're like, no one else played themselves as a dirtbag on Sex and the City, but now that's what people go on Curb to do.
Yeah.
So in a
Yeah.
way, you're like, he was 20 years ahead of the game.
He was meta.
And it's the same kind of deal where it's like now the Nicolas Cage stuff that people made fun of, they're like, but that's the Cage effect. That's what
Yeah.
it's Keanu Reeves is like the same way where it was like, he was like, so like surfer and cringy.
Mhm.
And then you're like, no, he's really a good actor. And
Yeah.
like way in, just like very mindful and into like martial arts and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I think I feel like you either get I don't know, like unveiled as a creep if you do something so brazen, or if it's just like he's like has a sense of humor to be like, yeah, whatever, I'll be like one of those Hollywood losers like
Yeah.
everyone knows about.
Because what was like McConaughey? This was probably in like the early 2000s or
This
like
was-
late
this
90s.
was-
2004 maybe.
This was 2000.
What?
Yeah, because it's season 3. So like
Season
what?
3, yeah, it's
So
2000.
McConaughey at that time was like leading man in rom-coms, right?
I think it was this around
Time
like
to Kill was
How to-
1996.
was this around like How to Lose a Guy? How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days or
How do you randomly know what year A Time to Kill came out?
Because that was the first rated R movie I ever saw.
No way.
really?
Do you recommend it
Yeah.
as a first?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's like
I
basically.
wasn't asking if you recommend the movie. It's a great fucking movie. I'm saying like if you have a 15-year-old child, should someone consider that as the first R-rated movie they show that child?
Well, I do think like its rated R-ness is basically for like very intense, serious themes that I think ultimately are like morally kind of justified. So yeah, it's like, you know, I'd rather my kids learn about the uncomfortable subject of race through A Time to Kill than
fucking watching Porky's.
than watching Porky's. Yeah.
What was your first rated R movie, Corey?
My first rated R movie was, I believe it was Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Great one.
Because, and the reason I was allowed to watch it.
And a Casio.
What? That's from the movie?
Yeah, it's when he's like making the, he's like getting a hotel room. And he's like, how about 373? And
Oh, yeah.
Casio.
That's right. Steve Martin has that one freak out where he
the fucking
he
Yeah.
like swears for like 2 minutes straight.
Ah.
And my parents were like, God, we love this movie so much. And they're like, okay, you can watch it, but there's going to be a part where there's just a lot of bad things. I was like,
That's what my parents said, but it was about A Time
Roadhouse.
to Kill, and it was about no, it's funny because there's like that one scene that's like, this is going to be uncomfortable, and instead it's like 2 hours and 15 minutes of like, okay, so that's the Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah, exactly.
And
My first rated R movie was Predator, and I will go on a talking head panel on a news show defending that being the best first rated R movie to show someone. It's
Predator?
Yeah, it's so good.
Why so?
It's got Arnold Schwarzenegger in it.
Oh, yeah.
You know him?
Yes.
Yeah.
The politician?
Yes,
Yeah.
he's the politician. It's also another politician, Jesse Ventura. You know him?
Yeah, lots of strong politicians.
Yeah, it's just overall a fantastic movie.
McConaughey was definitely in his autobiography. He mentions that he was in All Right, like Dazed and Confused. But he said once A Time to Kill came out, like the day he was like a risky bet. And he's like, the first weekend of that box office, he's like, that was the last time I walked down the street and wasn't recognized.
Wow.
So
That's
he went
crazy.
to like, and then he even like has a line in it. Listen to the audiobook if you can. He's like, I'm not gonna lie, I spent about a month. What's that bungalow place in LA that everyone talks about?
Bungalow 8 or whatever?
No, it's like
it's like
Beverly Hills. I don't know. It's where what's his name died. It's where
Chateau
John Belushi
Marmont?
died.
Chateau Marmont.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
He's like, I may have spent a month at the Chateau Marmont taking showers every night with a different lady.
Oh my gosh.
It was just something like that. And he's like, and at a certain point, you realize like everything gets old at some point, so I had to go find myself.
I love when people like say shit like that. They're like, you know, of course he can say it gets old because he lived through the awesomeness of that.
I'll say if it gets old, McConaughey.
Yeah. Like,
Well,
I'm not
it's
gonna
funny-
listen to
it's
your
funny-
stupid fucking advice about how lame it is to shower with a different beautiful woman every single night, you asshole.
I'm here to tell you.
It's also funny that he had to finally find himself with like a beautiful Brazilian woman who he has children with now.
Yeah.
That's how he found
Oh,
himself. is,
poor
like, with
guy. I feel so bad for you that
I
it got
know.
boring.
It's like,
the
hey, man.
law of diminishing return applied to your showering with beautiful women.
You could have just read Ecclesiastes and shut the fuck up and learn.
Dumb fuck. Just try eating Stouffer's lasagna for 30 days in a row. You fucking moron.
Dude, if I ever see him, I'm going to say that. All that stuff. He'll be like, oh, it seems like you got a lot of negativity in your life.
Hey, Kevin, I really like what you're putting out in the world.
Hey, Kevin, I'm glad you're asking those questions.
Whether it's with your voice or on a skin.
Okay, we do need to
do need to
have
talk
to get
about
back
this
to our
episode.
thing, but I did record this because this is one of my favorite moments that I forgot from the entire series, which is just great.
No commitment issues.
That's bullshit,
But that's him auditioning to play big, which is pretty awesome.
It's
Yeah.
great. All right, let's
Garth? Should we go full Garth?
well, first time back, we got to recap the app.
Ooh. All right. I'm going to need some help here, guys.
Hey, we can tag
apps.
we can tag team this.
Yeah,
we'll
a little
quickly do it. It's the first LA app.
Yep.
Escape from New York.
The question that Carrie asks is, can you ever escape from your past?
Oof.
And Trey is working through some limp dick issues, some impotency.
Carrie and Charlotte get honest at that chat and chew. Oh,
yes. Okay.
Yeah, they have a chat and chew. Carrie and Charlotte get super honest at it.
Right at the beginning, yeah.
And Carrie's talking about how there's a really great line where, you know, Charlotte's like, I mean, wow, what happened with Aiden? Where it's like, yeah, Carrie freaking cheated on him with Big. You idiot.
That's what happened.
Come on, stupid.
Oh,
that's what happened. Oh, that's right, because you broke up with him at my wedding.
Yeah, Bermuda's in Bermuda.
Oh, that's why he dramatically screamed at the top of his lungs, "You broke my heart."
Right.
I was just thinking, what a fucking baby.
So what happened?
So what happened with that? Anyway, all right. So they do that, and then they all escape to LA, and Charlotte gets left in New York with
Trey,
with old noodly Trey.
Yeah. And Miranda has some like insecurity issues because of the beautiful LA women that are walking around with their, I think she's like with their boobs up to here.
She's in a conversation with the dude named Jason Dick.
Jason Dick, spelled Dique.
That's right. And I will say they do a great version of like an LA thing where they like dog LA pretty hard. But when he's talking to her and then he's like, he just like sees another woman and looks over his shoulder. He's like, I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Yeah.
I need to go over there.
Well, that all takes place in a hotel bar.
Yeah.
And like, do LA locals hang out in hotel bars in LA?
Actually, I stayed in a hotel.
It was a rhetorical question, Cory, but no.
I stayed in a hotel in LA. It was a very cool hotel.
What's the hotel?
It's a hotel in Koreatown, and they're known for this like huge like Koreatown brunch they do. I'll look it up.
Dude, all you do is brag.
Yeah.
I'm totally kidding.
No, all I do is answer questions truthfully, you fucking losers.
More like Bradshaw Boys.
Yeah. Well, there's one Bradshaw boy.
Oh,
I thought you were going to have a name and instead you're like, it's a Korean place. They have brunch.
It's in Koreatown. Hey guys, keep wishing you could live McConaughey's life. Because I took a lot of showers there, okay?
Okay, Cory Dick.
But I think it's the same thing as like going to the Ace Hotel.
Okay,
like, that's what I took it as.
Yeah, sure. Okay,
yeah.
And because they're all like a hotel, but they're all like none of them are even hanging out together. Like Carrie's on one side of the room talking to like the book exec, which I guess makes sense. Who sets up the meeting with
Sarah Michelle
McConaughey?
Gellar is the book exec. Yeah. And then she sets up the meeting with McConaughey.
Yeah, and then that's where Samantha meets Kevin and James Doyle.
That's right, Garth, the dildo model.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with what we look like. I don't know if some of you listen to us like Terry Gross. You just like, you don't want to know what we look like.
Terry Gross looks exactly like how I thought she looked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you hear that voice and you're like, I know you.
Oh, dude.
I was exactly what you
I was talking to somebody about politics and they were like, I just got into this one person and I'm not even going to name. And he was like, she's just like, has like such an interesting like political perspective. And I was like, have you seen her? And he's like, no, is it just like an old lady? I was like, no, it's a very hot woman. And he's like, I was picturing just like a old NPR lady. And he's like, I went on Reddit and looked at like hot pictures of this one political commentator.
Who's the commentator?
I love that there's subreddits.
I don't want to say her name because there's like a lot of people there's like a whole Reddit talking about how hot she is, and it's probably like annoying to her. But I don't know. I just don't want people to go do the thing. I'm saying with us.
Hey, if someone chooses to be on television, it's their fault.
She's not on television. That's why.
She's a radio commentator?
Yeah.
But she has a face for television?
Yeah.
It seems like she's really screwing up her career here.
I think she's doing okay. But what I'm saying is if you don't know what we look like, if I especially go mustache.
Dude, it is like Katie and I are watching it.
It's kind of crazy.
And she is like, that looks exactly like Kevin.
Yeah.
So much. It's crazy.
There was a look, the camera's to the side and he like reaches across Samantha at one point. And I was like, God, that really does look like you.
And we have the same girth. I measured it on the TV.
We gotta like, if they do a season 2, we gotta really write a storyline where you are Samantha and Garth's love child.
Oh man, I got in trouble for banging down the doors of HBO this first time. I was like, "Let me be Garth." Okay, so we have Garth.
So we have Garth, and then Samantha and Garth end up hooking up.
Yep.
Garth, real loud.
Is that like is that up to date the best sex Samantha has had, you think?
Well, she also had sex swing sex with the guy, which you missed this episode, but she met her match, the AIDS test guy.
But Smith Jarrett is the one who Texas oil drills her the hardest.
That's
right?
true. Smith Jarrett, I think, is probably, So Garth is definitely up there.
Yeah.
And then we find out Garth is a poet who wants to come back to New York with Samantha.
Dude, he's just like Kevin.
No,
he's got a soft soul.
He's a performer. He likes to write things and say them on stage.
Would you
do porn?
No, I know you wouldn't do porn. I'm assuming you wouldn't do porn.
But not with my face in it.
He would do audio porn like this news anchor he's talking about.
Would you?
I wouldn't do it without my face in it.
Would you do a cast of your dick and sell your dick as a mold?
There's something about that doesn't seem that seems like I'm more okay with that than doing porn, and I feel like I need to figure that out.
It's kind of like how they have like custom fleshlights. It would be like doing that.
Yeah.
And if the answer is yes, can we make one of those and sell it as merch?
I would make if we make one, we can. I'll make one of them. And we can give it away at our live show December 6th.
Let's do this. Let's make one. We make a mold.
But people can't make fun of it.
No. We'll make it very flattering. But
not just you guys. Anyone that comes to anyone that ever sees it, you can't make fun of.
No, here's how it
that's my fucking penis. Okay.
Well, here's how it has to happen. We'll make it as a mold, but it'll be a mold that it just comes out as a hard thing of ice cream, and then we cherry dip it like you do at a Mr. Softy, and then it's just like a red or like a caramel thing, and then someone has to eat it as it melts.
Oh,
it's just that.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Cool. Come to our live show.
Hold on.
Come to the live show.
Penis mold. I hope like a disease doesn't come up.
You're like, oh man,
penis mold. Mold. Clone a Willy.
Dude, could you imagine if you had penis mold disease?
Oh.
Penis molding kits.
Yeah, I got a bad case of PMD.
Dude, I bet Shmuel did.
Okay, we're gonna buy one. It's $80. Clone a Willy plus ball. You don't need my balls. That's weird.
How do you do it?
Wait, do you have to get hard and then just like
and then we're gonna clone my Willy.
Do they send you a thing that you put it in?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't believe someone is putting his kids through college with like the invention of his penis mold at home kits, but good for them.
I bet McConaughey is an investor. He's that smart.
What does he say to Carrie?
Still works in the shower.
And then let's see, we had Carrie and the McConaughey kind of making her examine her relationship with Big.
Right.
Also, the car did that a little.
There's the thing about them renting a Mustang, and about like not being able to drive.
Mm-hmm.
And then Carrie feels weird after the McConaughey meeting, and then she goes out to smoke on the set in New York.
Oh, that's such a good scene.
And
that's really smart.
And he's
so
like,
smart, so creative.
Yeah, he's like, it's outside. She's like, I'm outside, and it's New York. And the security guard is like, no, sorry. And then I'm trying to think what else happens with Charlotte in the
Jugs.
end.
It's Jugs' second episode.
Jugs was the second one we watched.
Jugs is after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still got it. Jugs is after that.
But the good thing is during this episode, Trey was slapping his dick to some Jugs.
That's the thing.
You look on his face and you're just like,
he's Jugs. Secretly
you're not thinking about you're not thinking about he's trying to think about like people's hearts and be like, oh, I have that surgery tomorrow, and he keeps on like his brain like pulls like a camera like pulls out of the heart and then to the boob, and he's like, stop, focus on your job,
focus, Trey.
I mean, we've kind of done like an overview. Yeah. What's interesting is, and it's what's so good about the show is that, I mean, Cory and we did a double episode night, John, that was just like, it was just like the sadness. It was late. We recorded from like 9 to like 11:30, and the 2 episodes were just like the tooth episode, getting the tooth knocked out,
Yeah.
then the cheating, then them being like happy, like we're finding new places, and then them just like sad, being like, do you want to meet up? And then the breakup with Aiden, like both episodes were just the saddest things. So it's such a great palate cleanser to be like, oh, just like fun old school Sex and the City.
Totally.
Yeah. I think that's why. Yeah, that's got to be why they did these two. They're like, we need a change of scenery now.
What are they called? Is there a bottle episode? Is that a term?
No, bottle episode is like when it comes from when they. I forget the show that did it first, but bottle episode is when they want to save money. And so they do an episode in one location, and it usually explores like one character.
So it'd be like
This is a super bad bottle episode to save money, and they're like, "Oh, we have to fly the whole crew to Los Angeles."
Wait, what? No,
is it usually like a random character? So it would be like Steve, like getting to be a ball boy for the Knicks, and it'd just be him in the locker room the whole time.
So I think that is like another thing.
If that's not in the new fucking series,
I hope that's in the new series.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck this new series. If Steve Brady is not a ball boy for the Knicks for one storyline of an episode.
Or even like on the TV in the background, you see Steve just at the ready, just ready to go shag some
It's
balls.
just Steve
so
and Kyrie
happy.
Irving. It's just that they just have a night out together.
Oh,
Steve
man.
and like some famous NBA
And
players.
Kyrie, because he's like, yeah, I can't play. I'm not vaxxed.
Yeah.
Steve's like, you should probably do that.
Hey man, you can't even get into scout. You got to show proof of vaccination.
Dude, when you first started it sounded like I thought you were going a different voice.
Who'd you think it was?
I thought it was like Latino at first.
Hey man, you can't even get into scout.
You were like, hey man.
Hey Cory, hey, chill on that.
Come on, man.
The other thing goes to In the Heights.
Yeah, exactly. Also, yeah, this wasn't Jugs though. This is when Charlotte puts a ring of stamps around Trey's wing wong when he goes to sleep and finds out that he's getting boners while he's sleeping.
It's so many flaws with that.
So when
Like
that
what?
happened, that's like putting someone's hand. That's like put their hand in water to sleep over the water.
Wait, what are the flaws? You said there's so many. Name 6 of them.
That if you're, I mean, I'd have to do more research on impotence, but it's like a lot of impotence. I think doesn't involve it involves like when you can get hard and stay hard.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean like, oh, my penis never ever gets hard anymore. But I don't know. I'm not impotent. So
I mean, I imagine if you're checking for impotence, that's like
hard.
I'm going to do an at-home Willy test.
Yeah. But
you'd probably if you're curious about that, you'd probably start with, is your body physically able to do it? So that would be like a decent starting point, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying if you're applying the scientific method.
I guess you're right. This is a perfect experiment. Yeah, if you're applying the scientific method, I think it'd be a great 6th grade with like the trifold thing out.
Science fair?
Yeah, they use this.
Daddy's dick can get hard.
No, like and just like that. It's like it's Charlotte's like daughter's in 6th grade, and Charlotte helps her with that. She's like, no, it's not you, Harry. It's someone else. You shouldn't be insulted. Yeah, I mean, I think like
the trifold like board.
The board,
cardboard.
Just like,
did you guys ever do a science fair?
Oh
yeah.
What was your?
Mine was salt dissolving. It was like pretty easy to prove based on life.
Just salt dissolves.
It was like how much salt dissolves.
Dude, that like after knowing you as an adult, that makes so much sense. That was your science fair project.
But I went and did the presentation with such passion.
Yeah, that makes sense too.
What was yours?
Man, I did something about like boiling quartz or something like that. All I remember is that, and this makes a ton of sense about me though, is that one of my like deep childhood memories that's still there is the night before, and like it was like 11:30, but as a 3rd grader, that's really late.
Yeah,
the latest ever.
And your parents are helping you?
Yep, my parents helped me, and my dad is standing in the other part of the kitchen, and he's just like being very supportive, but also just like, how did we get here? It's this late, and that just now replays in my adult life about every 2 weeks for work, where I'm like, I have to get up at 6 tomorrow. I'm still working. It's 3 a.m. What am I doing? Dad was right. Quartz doesn't boil. What was yours?
Volcanoes, man.
Yeah,
Baking soda
volcano's
vinegar.
the smartest thing
The
to
best.
Baking soda vinegar, a little food coloring, a little
Yeah.
paper mache volcano. Just watch out.
Yeah.
Here it come
And
every
you're-
time.
do. Best thing.
And you're like,
Dude, we should do that at the live show. Just do a big, just bring out a science fair volcano and just pour some vinegar in there and stand back.
That's all we do.
you know, it'd be really funny is if we keep on like pouring stuff in it and we're like, why isn't this working? And someone like, it's because baking soda. And then we put baking soda in the next one, but instead we make the volcano. We just hold up a magazine of jugs and then put it in and then it shoots. Like, it wasn't the baking soda. It's, the volcano needs to look at a
Let's do
magazine of
a
jugs.
Mentos and Diet Coke jugs experiment.
And it has like, we have like little googly eyes on the volcano.
What we could do is we could tape a little Mentos on the jug, so when we open it, it
drops
falls in
in.
without people seeing it, and then it just erupts.
Oh my
Crowd goes
gosh.
wild, buys our merch, and that's it.
and it's just like this. Yeah, I think we 100% should do
We
that.
just wrote the live show.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Thank goodness.
Science.
There's
Bradshaw
no
Boys
reason for
science
you
fair.
people to even come anymore.
Yeah.
You know what you're gonna see? You're gonna see a mannequin with Trey's face on it, holding the jugs.
Guaranteed it'll be 3 a.m. the night before. Corey will be stressing his ass off.
Like, why the hell did
Why is
this
this
even
working?
have to do with the show?
Guys,
John, you didn't pick up the jugs? Oh my gosh.
People
John,
that don't
it's-
get it, this was an obscure riff that we did on a recent episode. Wait, you came because the event said a Sex in the City podcast?
guys, no. By the way, you probably heard in an ad before this, but we're having a live show.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. December
New York
6th,
City.
Union
December
Hall,
6th,
babe.
Union Hall. Get your tickets.
I'll be there.
I'll be there.
Dude, it's awesome.
Jugs will
Anyone
be
who
there.
comes, Madison Kestner. She came to our last one. She follows us on Instagram. And
Yeah,
she
we
came,
restoried something of hers today.
I know, but
Yeah.
she came to our last live show.
Nicest
And
person.
she was like, I have a question. My name's Madison. We did like Q&A at the end. I was like, Madison? Madison from Instagram? and it seemed very weird, but that was a funny interaction. Okay, so come to the live show.
Come to the live show. Mentos and jug. Oh yeah, the paper ring. We've established that that's
That's actually good science.
it's good stuff.
That's how the Myrna vaccine was discovered.
Here's the thing: is their issues are so deep that it's kind of crazy to think about. That he is avoiding, like they have not had sex yet. They didn't have sex on their honeymoon.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't had like that's where the plot twist is. It's like, okay, she can't even be like, sweetheart, can you get hard at all?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Right.
they're 3 weeks in and haven't had sex. That's pretty fucking dysfunctional.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they can't talk about it at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean that's crazy.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that is wild. It's weird. Yeah, it's weird that she's never seen it too, because that means like there's no. If
She's never even seen this dick?
Well, I guess she's seen it when they try. I just mean she's never seen it. She's never seen it erect. And so, because she's surprised when the paper tear thing happens, which means that she's like never seen it. You know, like when you like wake up in the morning. You know,
Yeah.
old Surgeon Trey morning wood. She's never seen that happen before.
Yeah, they didn't even like.
Old Surgeon Trey sounds like a Mumford and Sons type band.
Old Surgeon Trey.
Ladies and gentlemen, old Surgeon Trey.
We're old.
Down on the battlefield, you hear the cannons blazing.
Old Surgeon Trey.
Old Surgeon Trey, he's got a box of raisins, and the cannons fire.
When they got engaged, I guess we just need to like I have to go back and
When they
see.
got engaged, he had the ring on his limp penis.
But why was there not even I understand having sex, but like they haven't even like fooled around a little bit. They haven't even like
Was there ever? I don't remember this, but yeah, you're right. Was there ever like a hug where she like feels like, oh, he's like poking through his doctor pants?
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like so they've had no sexual contact in any way.
Yeah, I guess
You
not.
know,
I think they just had a lot of makeouts.
I want to fact check that because something doesn't add up.
That's where I guess it could make sense. They haven't had sex. That's where it feels like they're in like they got a new storyline
Mm-hmm.
and they're like reinvigorated with being like, okay, now that we're here, let's push into this. And it makes sense in the grand scheme, but kind of specifically, I'm like, I feel like there's a few plot holes here.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I agree with that.
Which is fine.
Let's talk about Miranda and her. Have you guys ever been to a physical location that made you feel particularly insecure?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, but it's more like because there was a trigger of something else. Like I knew, like showing up and an ex is there, or like going to a place where it's like, oh, I used to work. I used to work on this block, and I know like these old coworkers are here that I haven't seen in a while, or something like that. Okay. But how do you mean like her just going to a party and just being like, I feel
she
like
just
out
like
of
felt
place?
She felt like LA as a whole was like siphoning some of her sex appeal away. And I was wondering if either of you have ever experienced anything like that.
Anytime I've been to like whatever the traditional version of like a club is, I don't feel like that is a place that I can. I'm always just like, I can't believe people go to clubs and go home with people, which apparently happens. And I haven't been to one in a long time, but I remember when I was like in my 20s, I had a few friends that like had like,
they were showering with a different woman every night at the club.
But he had like a bottle service table. He was like, you should come. And I remember going, I was like, there was like a guy that just saw me like going to the Grey Goose like 2 months, because I was like, if I'm going to be here, I can barely hear anything. I can't talk to people. I'm at least going to. And he was like, hey, easy, man, because I was just like drinking all the bottle service. Because I was like, that's like the only reason for me to be here is like drink free booze. But I remember just like,
got to juice the goose.
But this is me being a little vulny. But I remember being like feeling more. Just being like, I feel more attractive when I can be funny. And if I can't be funny, I'm just like, I can't just rely on like someone thinking I'm cute.
Yeah.
Well, I can't. And it's really hard to be funny there in like a club because it's such a self-serious, dumb place.
Dude, you should have just tried physical comedy.
Oh, I did. But I would just do it with a friend. And then you're just like it just
fall through the table.
I would do what we would do.
Do some slapstick, step on a rake.
We played a funny game where we would go up to like the prettiest girls and I'd be like, excuse me. We'd be like, yeah. And be like, I'm really lonely. And like the girl would be like, what the fuck? But I remember thinking that was funny. But also I'm like, oh, that was like me and my funny friend that if we knew we could have flirted with girls, we probably would have. But it's like, actually, let's exit this spacecraft and then just like make fun of this whole situation.
Yeah.
Which I think probably deep down is like when you learn to like not go to places like that and you're like, oh, I'll go to where I feel more comfortable.
Right. I totally agree with that. In that like anytime, I think this is probably like why we're like either attracted to comedy or attracted to like the way that, you know, I feel like the things that you've been into are like either us joking around or like cerebral hobbies, you know, like playing magic and stuff like that. But like things that are supposed to be like effortlessly cool like that, and you have to be totally earnest about, like going to dance seriously like that. Like we've been so much fun to dance at weddings and so much fun to like go out with a bunch of friends to a thing. Or like, you know, the karaoke bar we used to all go to. Yeah. But you're right. Like a place where it's like, the thing here is to be earnest and cool and just be cool. And like, don't like, it doesn't matter because this is fun. I feel the same way. Do not feel really comfortable there. And I think I guess because that's why like there's a mystique that like cool people have that I don't know if they're actually comfortable in that environment or not. And I feel like when they showed the LA party, like there was a little bit of like people being cool, but you know that like from being at those parties that we've been to that half the people there are in their heads already and they're just pretending that they're enjoying it. Doesn't mean that people don't enjoy stuff like that because people do.
Well, that is I mean, very relatable for Miranda to experience that, you know, because, I think everyone has definitely felt that at certain times. And it's like never, I don't know, the people that you always like respect are always the people that are just like comfortable being in themselves. And I feel like we've talked about this many times on this podcast, but sometimes it's funny whenever that creeps up on you because Miranda's probably a very self-confident person.
Yeah.
That creeped up on her in a way that is not just like, oh, I'm dealing with this again. It was just like, probably in her head, she's like, what the fuck? I'm better than these people.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
And then you're like, how do I get out of this?
Yeah.
Spiral,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, the place that she ends up at the end is when she's on the bull
Mm-hmm.
and like takes the bull by the horns.
Absolutely.
Literally. And like unleashes her like inner party girl by getting on the bull.
Yeah. Have you guys ever ridden a bull?
Yeah, once I think.
I've probably shared this story on the podcast, but a friend of the pod, Harlan J. Alford, and I were at a this big party in Williamsburg. It was Charlie XOX or whatever.
Charlie XCX.
Yeah, it was like her album release. Our friend got us in there, and they had a mechanical bull, and our friend Harlan J. Alford rode it, and she's like, we're going to get wild tonight, right? And everyone's like, yeah. She's like, we're going to get drunk tonight, right? And everyone's like, yeah. And she's like, we're going to ride that fucking bull tonight, right? And right when she said that, our friend Harlan J. Alford was on the bull and it broke right when she said that. Everyone turned around and looked and it was just like bucking him out. And it was like, and he just like slowly it went down and he kind of just like rolled off of it, and it was like one of those moments where the entire crowd just kind of like took a breath and was like, was that planned that big guy just rode that bull to the ground? And then everyone kept partying, but it was one of my favorite.
Dude, that's so funny.
It was actually my second favorite bull riding story. I'll share my first some other time.
Oh wow.
Well, I just I want to show you guys this, but this is me on the very bull that Miranda was on.
What?
That's me and our friend Ben Fuqua, friend of the pod, Ben Fuqua. We're in West Hollywood, and I went there. Ready? This is just like watch.
We're watching
Just
Kevin ride the
fucking-
ball. He's doing okay. He looks like Garth.
And just
Bam. Face plant.
just Garthin right down, and then I think after
You got to put that on the gram, dude.
I do. I know. I lost it in my phone for a while. I did too, but I think on Instagram you can put like two next to each other. So I'll make sure I post all
you
that
and
stuff.
Miranda, yeah.
But yeah, I forgot that was at the end of this, and I did not. She grabs the bull by the horns. I went down so quickly. The guy let me do it again because it cost like $20. I was kind of wrong, and I was like, "Can I do that again?" He's like, "Yeah, it's another $20." I was like, "Please."
It doesn't look easy.
Hey, wait, did he let you on again?
He let me do it again because it was like kind of empty, and I was like, I wasn't ready for the one.
He's like, yeah, that's the whole point.
Yeah, like I don't fucking care.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so
That's funny. Is that it?
Well,
Is that a pod in the bank?
I think that's a pod.
I think that's. I
Gosh,
think
it
that's,
feels so good to be back.
dude. Solid pod. Solid
Oh
pod
my
back.
gosh.
It's-
I love you guys.
This is a good one to dip our toes back in.
Mm-hmm.
There's not like it's a lot of kind of surfacey stuff, but I feel like we covered some really good ground,
Mm-hmm.
and we're ready. We're just like laying the foundation. We're just lubing it up before we
Wrap
before we
some
shove it
stamps
into
around
the
your
next
dicks. That's it, boys.
Stamp your dick.
Stamp your dick.
Stamp your fucking dick.
Hey guys, this podcast is sponsored by Stamps.dick. Stamps.dick.
My blue chews too.
Blue chews
For Trey.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
dude, Trey does need some blue chews.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get him some fucking sildenafil, the active ingredient.
Stamp your dick.
Listen, ladies, if you are in a relationship with a man and you think that he won't feel uncomfortable by you doing this, put some stamps around his penis, call into the pod.
Lady, if you're man at home and you're not sure if his penis full grown,
then put
slap
some
a couple
stamps around
forever
his
stamps
shaft
around his dick.
and see if it grows and if it
Is jumping.
if the serrated part comes apart. Serrated? Perforated?
Perforated.
Yeah, serrated is for Lori
Serrated.
Bobbitt.
Yeah,
Well, John, that's the pod. Well, I'll say it at the beginning of the next one because I don't want it to get lost in the mix. We just got some very good reviews recently. So
Oh,
Ooh,
if that is ever a teaser to
Oh my
listen to the
goodness.
next episode,
Titillating.
which will be on Patreon. So if you want to hear those reviews, go support
subscribe.
Patreon.
Yeah, come on.
Or you know what? Just if you
Oh, the next one will be on Patreon.
Don't be a stamp dick. Subscribe to our Patreon.
Okay, new
Subscribe
listener
to
in love. After meeting the Bradshaw Boys on Sinead's podcast, they started their podcast from the beginning. I smile through the episodes and find myself laughing the hardest when they joke about blowing each other.
Dude, that's not a joke.
Which is ironic
that's
because
just
I'm a
joy.
lesbian. I'm like,
oh, look at that.
my favorite part is mid-pandemic when the boys are going a little crazy and Kevin jokes about texting SJP. You guys crack me up. I've enjoyed this journey with you.
That's awesome. Thank you.
And then another one. So that's here to listen to people talk. That's their name. And then Friday we got one from Sammy, and he said these guys are breaking down the episodes in such a great way. Love hearing the male perspective. New listener, loving it. So thank you.
Thank you for
the reviews.
That's so nice.
Those always help.
They always help.
People always mention that they're surprised we don't have more reviews on our podcast, and that's not our fault. That's yours. So go review.
Yeah, it's your fault, you listener.
You fucking listener.
Yeah, exactly. Come on.
Wrap some stamps around your dick and write as a review.
Yeah. Wrap some
not
stamps
hard.
around the podcast app and give it a fucking boner. All right,
later, taters.
The Bradshaw Boys stars Cory Cavin, Jon Sieber, and Kevin James Doyle. The show is produced by Jeremy L. Balon. For more information on the guys, check out their website at bradshawboys.com, on social media at The Bradshaw Boys, and if you see them in the street, tip your glass. Thanks for listening.